This video is pretty much just a giant nostalgia trip. It's not even like a review or anything kind of relating to a review. It's just, again, it's just me talking about the game. It's just me expressing how much I love Skyrim, how much it means to me, and just the sheer nostalgic feeling I get playing it again. And how I basically explain it as my comfort food, and it has been for nine years now. I'm gonna not ramble anymore, but enjoy the video. I'm gonna start this video a little bit different because this one is essentially just a giant nostalgia trip for me. Like, the last one was kind of a review, but this one's just me gushing for half an hour about Skyrim. I do obviously have some criticisms, but it's mainly positive. Also, I've been trying to sort out my microphone issues. I appreciate everybody who watched my last video, and shout out to them for all my 6 likes. Fuck yes. And that the gameplay here was recorded about 3 weeks ago, so a lot of my notes will try to correspond with it. It's just all been done at different times. You know, I've got other things to do as well. But anyway, you know, I could lead with a whole joke about how it's not been released on the PS2 yet. I could lead with something about how it's probably going to get released on the PlayStation 5. You know, stuff like that, because, you know, they're milking the whole Skyrim cow. I was going to say horse there. But, you know, it's just one of those things that people have memed to death. To be honest, I did find it pretty funny. But anyway, a lot of the capture you're going to see is from PS4 using Skyrim Special Edition. I've been playing it with the mods, and all the credit to the modders is down in the description. I've just done it to sort of give a little bit of a fresh experience. I've literally poured thousands of hours into this game, so I wanted to kind of change it up. I know I should have probably turned off the footstep noises, but I just couldn't be fucked re-recording everything. And I should have turned off the HUD as well when I was going for the... I can't even think of the word, but you know what I was trying to do. For just showing off some of the nice scenery that I enjoy very much. I only realised this now when I was recording and putting the videos together. The game was released on the 11th of November 2011, and I was 17, and a few months later I would leave school and I would spend countless hours in this. Like I said earlier, I spent thousands of hours doing this game. But between job searching and helping my parents, my late teens was just fucking Skyrim 360. So much good stuff. Just now you are seeing my little collection. There's a few things I forgot to put in, but you get the idea. That I will keep all these forever and cherish them. I think I got it for Christmas that year, and then I bought the collector's edition a few months later when I was working. I think that's how it went down. Even just walking down after that first quest and hearing that soothing scores just brought me back to being 17 and being lost in that world and living in it for so long. The sheer happiness and escapism this game provided for me is honestly so difficult to put into words, because I always find myself smiling when I hear the soundtrack. Like, I listen to the soundtrack on Spotify a lot, and it's just so... Well, it's pretty iconic, and just that, combining that with the scenery and the score is just... I would do a chef's kiss, but I'm probably going to hit my microphone again. But, you know, the nostalgic vibes, they just hit so hard I could, like, be reduced to tears just by the score itself. Just when it hits at, like, certain parts. It's just, I find it really, really difficult to describe. But I hope that you have these feelings for a game as well. Well, I have many feelings for many games, but anyway. But that original score is just so haunting. It's like you're in your own mythical fairy tale, and the second it hits, it's like I hear it and I know I'm gonna go on to an epic adventure. It's like I literally am the Dragonborn. I'm gonna go and explore all these different caves and meet all these cool and interesting characters, and it just has such a special place in my heart. You know, here's me casually, you know, Skyrimming down a mountain. I forgot I did that. That's funny. I will list my 4 favourite tracks from the official Skyrim soundtrack in the description, and I'll put the Spotify links in as well for anybody that wants to hear them. I'm currently learning Out of the Cold on the guitar and the Bannered Mare. I really do just wish how I could properly put into words how much this soundtrack helps me. Like, it just makes me free my mind. It's so calming and therapeutic, and it literally, any time of my life where I had some like negative things happen or any negativity, I felt like I would put this on and I would just feel so peaceful inside, I think is the right word I'm trying to come out with. You know, it just, I will always be grateful for that. And I think, well, the game's what, 9 years old now? And a lot's happened since then, and I just really, really appreciate it. I will apologise for the seagulls if anybody has heard them as of late. Fosroda. Force balance push. Now, is that one of the most iconic gaming phrases now? Well, actually, no. Arrow in the knee quote. I just remembered all the fucking memes. Jesus Christ, arrow in the knee. Oh my god. To go back to 2011 Facebook. I really wouldn't want to go back to 2011 Facebook, by the way. I actually taught myself some of the dragon language back in the day. Like, I learned how to write my name and say some kind of like basic words, and learning how to write different things. I would go back and relearn some of it, but it takes a lot of effort, and putting these videos together, never mind another language, is like time consuming enough.
I'm just a poor old woman, dear. No need.
I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. And with my rather very extremely budget stuff, I have other little technical things I have to work with too. But no, it's good, it's fun, I really enjoy it. I just slapped myself, I don't know if you heard that, but that hurt. One gameplay trope that really, really fucking annoyed me was, you know, when you have a spell and a one-handed weapon and you're not able to defend yourself, you have to like choose between them, and it makes the combat kind of awkward sometimes. Like, I've had this shit kicked out of me so many times because I didn't have that option to defend myself. I love how the in-game book called The Book of the Dragonborn is the cover of the art book in real life. You would have seen it when I showed off the collection earlier. I really like that. I remember when I spotted it at first and I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I'll also be getting a tattoo with an extremely close friend of mine from the Dark Brotherhood. You know, the Black Hand, and maybe something like We Know, or like an actual copy of the note from when they contact you during the game. We were thinking of something along those lines. We thought it would be really cool, and I wanted to shout it out because, you know, it's very fitting. And actually, that just reminded me, I always said I was going to get the Skyrim and Oblivion symbols on my thighs, but I haven't got round to it yet. Oh shit, I need to do that. Kind of touching on something I said earlier, but like, this game is honestly like comfort food. No matter how shitty I feel, it always makes me feel right at home. And I really always wanted to get that point across, because when I like talk to people about like all the different games I play and stuff like that, there's always the kind of the same ones that sort of come up, and Skyrim is definitely one of them. And I guess that's what this video is really about, me trying to get across why it means so much to me. But also I like hearing other people's stories about other games that mean a lot to them too, because I think people who play games have a mutual understanding of that, and I think it's something to be really respected. I mean, it's the same of any art form really, like music, art, drawing, whatever you're into. It's just whatever it means to you, then you can just go for it, as long as it helps you. Now I'm going to talk a bit about the different quests that I've played through recently. I obviously haven't played through every single one of them recently. I even found a few things that I didn't even know were in the game, which impressed me, to be honest. It's just a few ones off the top of my head when I was just playing through, and I'm like, oh, I like this one. Oh, I really like this one too. So I was going to like just talk about them individually. I'm going to begin with the main quest line, which I've heard various different opinions over the years on it. I personally enjoyed it. I mean, it was a bit bloated at times, but you can kind of get past it. Like, being given the option to kill Parthenax, speaking to him for the first time, like, literally blew my mind. Like, I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I loved him so much, and I don't ever kill him. Fuck what the Blades say. And I thought visiting Sovngarde, getting that chance, you know, and you can speak. I think, if I remember correctly, when you can kill certain NPCs and you can actually get to speak to them again when you visit Sovngarde, which I thought was cool. And then the big ending fight with Alduin, from what I can remember, I did enjoy it. Because, you know, you had to like trap the dragon and Whiterun and everyone was going nuts, and then he takes you to Alduin and then you have to fight him, and there's this big whole thing. Yeah, I really can't remember much of the dialogue. But it is good though. But I hope that's not like my nostalgia goggles just being like, oh yeah, that main quest was great, and then I play through it all again like after I publish this video and I'm like, wow, I was fucking wrong. But I'm just going to stick to the fact that I enjoy it. Okay, the next one in my notes is the Blood on Ice quest in Windhelm, where you investigate the murders. And I'm having to do this one from memory right now as well, but I thought it was very different to normally what you would have. Jesus Christ, speak Hetty. To normally what would happen is usually you would get, oh yeah, you need to go into this cave, kill a bunch of things, get a shout and get some cool stuff. But this one you actually had to like use a bit of initiative and ask people, talk, you know, go and find certain people to speak to get information from. It was really enjoyable. I would either go play it or go and watch a video on it. And it's really interesting. The Laid to Rest quest, when you go to Morthal, and it involves solving a murder when you speak to the little ghost girl. And after you kill the master vampire who killed her mother and her, she comes back to thank you, like just after you come back like from the cave where you kill the master vampire, because it turns out that vampires killed them. But I really just, when I've like played it through again, and I've probably butchered describing that quest, but I'm sorry. When I played it through again, I forgot that she came back to thank you, and I was like, oh, I thought it was dead cute. The Mage's Guild quest line, I did actually finish. I enjoyed this quest line. I always liked this one. I think, if I remember correctly, people would shit on this one quite a lot too, but this one was done quite well, I think. It was quite, well, relatively varied for Skyrim quest lines, but I know Oblivion's was very fetch questy, but I felt this one had a bit more structure to it, from what I can remember anyway. It was so obvious that Okano cunt was dodgy though, like the Thalmor guy. It was obvious he was a dodgy bastard. Oh, and it turns out he wanted to wreck the place, and you have to go find this staff, which the dead Archmage already knew about, but he never told you. But you only find that out when, after Akano kills the Archmage, that when you go to Labyrinthian to get the staff, the ghosts of Christmas past appear, and the Archmage is one of them, and they're telling a story that way, which I think is cool. And now for one of my favourite factions in the entire Elder Scrolls series, is the Dark Brotherhood. And it's one of my favourite quest lines in this game, and Asteroid has one of the sexiest voices I have ever heard in my entire life. And I will always say that. I need to actually find out who her voice actor is. I must do that. Anyway, I was so pissed off when she betrays you, and the fact that her husband Armbjorn is such a dickhead from the minute you meet him to the minute he gets wrecked because Cicero stabs him because he fucking deserves it. And I did kill Cicero originally, but then in another save file I didn't. And that's the cat wanting out. And the Redguard dude who you start doing the very basic contracts for is, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but you'll know who I'm talking about. He basically becomes your second in command by the end of it. I always thought that he was really cool, and the little vampire girl was cool. The only one that pissed me off was Armbjorn. He was a dick. And the old mage, Festus, he amused me by how much he just couldn't be fucked with anything, pretty much. But yeah, I liked the quest line. It was kind of different, and then like the Night Mother gets involved because you know it's a Dark Brotherhood, and yeah, it was good. Oblivion's one was better though, I will admit that, but Asteroid's voice makes up for that. The Bard's College quest line just turned out to be a bunch of fetch quests, which really disappointed me, considering the fact that the bunch of NPCs, they would be like, oh yeah, go to the Bard's College, it's one of the greatest things ever, and it turns out that it's a bunch of fucking fetch quests, where you have to get separate people different instruments from all these different dungeons, and that's basically the entire quest line, if it really is a quest line. And you tell the Solitude Guard to let them have their fire festival thing. I honestly can't remember much about it, because it's been so long since I did that quest line, because it's shit and it bugged me. Pieces of the Past, one of the Daedric quests, and the references to Oblivion I loved as well. And the fact that you get Maren's Razor, which is a dagger that has a chance to instantly kill as well, I thought was really cool. And Maren's Dagon is the Daedric Prince of Destruction who caused the Oblivion Crisis in the previous game. He was worshipped by a cult called the Mythic Dawn, and you collect fragments of the dagger because there is a guy at the museum which is dedicated to the cult of the Mythic Dawn. He has different artifacts you can see in the little cases around the place, which I like looking at because of the whole Oblivion nostalgia thing. And he asks you to help, and you take the pieces of the dagger up to meet the guy Silas at the shrine of Maren's Dagon. And Maren's Dagon tells you to kill him. I obviously chose the option to kill him because it's me, and why wouldn't I? And then you get the razor for yourself. He gives you it as a present, and then he starts laughing and sends two Daedric cunts to kill you, but you can kill them and you can start farming them to do smithing for Daedric armor. Top fact. Or if you're me, just pump it full of mods and get fucking cheats to do it anyway. It's up to you. I did all the grinding for that way back in the day, and I am not doing it all over again. I just do not have the time investment to do it anymore. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Vampire DLC, and I remember going to game after I'd finished work, and I can't remember if I was 18 or not, but the little DLC little cards that you could buy for like the codes were like, I can't even remember how much they were, but back in the day when Microsoft points were a thing, I got ID'd and the guy said, oh, if you just get the points instead, then I don't have to ID you, so I got the points. If I remember correctly, I got the Vampire DLC, I got Dragonborn, and then I think the one with the houses was released after that. I really can't remember, it was so long ago. But I can remember it being the longest bus journey of my entire life because all I wanted to do was get home and play my new Skyrim DLC. And it took me like over an hour to get back home. And I did enjoy this DLC. I just felt like it could have been a bit more fleshed out. Whether you pick the vampires or the Dawnguard, I know there's like slight differences. I always pick the vampires. I did play as a Dawnguard before, but I just can't remember how it differs from the vampires and the Dawnguard. I can't remember the differences. I think if you pick the Dawnguard, you get the enchanted crossbows, and in vampires is Vampire Lord. I think that's one of the differences. I do know that even though I picked the vampire side pretty much constantly, that no matter what, I think you get Serana as a follower, which she is a good follower, and she's pretty, which helps. The design of the castle was always pretty cool. I just wish there was more to it. I'm sure everybody's played the DLC by now, and you know that you can like upgrade the castle and a few other things once you finish the DLC. I think that's only if you pick the vampire side, but don't quote me on that. Even when I played it for the first time, like the DLC through for the first time on 360, and you got to Ancestor's Glade, I always thought it was one of the most stunning scenes in a game I'd ever seen at that point. And then when I got to see it again on the special edition, like, it would just blew my mind. And then people go, oh yeah, but if you have a PC and put mods and stuff on it, it can look better. Yeah, I know, I've got a 7-year-old computer that I'm using right now, so my computer would not handle anything like that at all. So when I got to see it for next gen consoles, I thought it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I just love it. It's bright, it's sunny, I really should put a screenshot of something of it into this bit of footage, but you know, I'm probably not going to. The worst part about replaying that DLC by far is the touching the sky quest, and you have to go and get all those stupid pain in the arse way shrines that are miles away, and the map doesn't help, and you just get lost and you wander around with your head up your arse for fucking ages because you've no idea where to go, because it doesn't really tell you. You've got rakes of walking to do, and it's dog shit. And it turns out you're filling up a jug of water. Yeah, water in a jug. You're doing all this for so that the fucking door opens at the temple near the end. That's why you're doing it. 100% filler, if you ask me. But apart from that, the only saving grace was the two cool dragon battles you get, and I think you get a shout that I can't remember the name of, and there's a special hidden boss as well in one of the caves, if I remember correctly. Could be totally wrong though, it's been a while. It was a bunch of padding that it really didn't need, because I thought it was a lengthy enough DLC as it was, and there was loads of different stuff added to the game anyway. So it was just, it really did my head in every single playthrough. I was like, oh god, it's touching the sky again. In the Dragonborn DLC, if I remember right, the cultists come to you after you turn level 10 and they're like, you're not the real Dragonborn, and then give you a note. No, they don't give you a note, you kill them and then you find on their note. And then you go to Windhelm, go to the boat, and then you go to Solstheim. Which I thought was cool because bringing Morrowind back was fantastic fan service, even though I never really played Morrowind much. I could appreciate the sentiment of it even if I did. I can't really remember much about the story of it, but you're chasing Mirak, who is saying that you're a fake Dragonborn and then one of the David Lords, and you have to jump through all these weird freaky tentacle books to go and find him. But what I do remember most of was all the different exploring you can do, and there were so many side quests as well added, but they were actually decent ones. There was one linking back to the Thieves Guild, like someone's brother, you know, like from a character you know already, and finding the ancient Nord pickaxe. No, that wasn't the name of it. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it, but... Oh my god, I forgot about this. I did this on purpose just for capture reasons. Piss off the giant and he sends you flying. It was the glitch that they didn't fix because everybody enjoyed it for once. Oh, Bethesda. How times have changed. And I just remembered the Dragonborn DLC gave you the ability to ride dragons. You learnt a shout and you could tame dragons. And I remember it was one of the achievements I was trying really, really hard to get back in the day. I did it eventually. And there was the other one about, what was it? Killing 11 legendary dragon. No, it wasn't 11, it was one. One legendary dragon you had to kill. And I remember I could never find one. And there was more dragon cult masks to collect as well over in Solstheim, and it was one of those quests that wasn't marked in your quest log, so you had to basically do it manually. That was one of the things I didn't do. The other thing I didn't do was all the stuff in Blackreach, like Crimson Nirnroot. I remember never doing that. I did enjoy the DLC for Dragonborn. I just can't remember that much about it because I constantly played the vampire one. I didn't play that one as much. And I think I started playing it again for my platinum run of Skyrim, but I don't think I finished it. And even so, that was almost, what, a year ago I did that? Year and a half ago? It was a while ago when I did it anyway. Normally here I would insert like a little live action video of me just thanking everyone and things like that, but I'm just going to do it over this mic just now, even though my phone microphone is better than this one. I'm just going to thank everyone for watching now and listening to me talking about a game that is almost 10 years old and how much it just all means to me, and I just hit the microphone, and you know, for giving a shit, paying attention, things like that. It means a lot. It takes a lot of time to put all this together. And everybody who messaged me about my last video, I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the feedback, and it just means the world to me because I've enjoyed games for so long, and talking about them is something I didn't think I'd be able to actually do, and now I'm doing it and people enjoy it. It's a good feeling, so thank you. I have some more ideas of some videos that I can start working on. I will do an Uncharted video, I know that, and I will do a Spyro video. That's two that I definitely know I'm going to talk about. I know that my microphone sucks. I will get it sorted soon. I'll try some editing to try and make it sound a bit better. I know it's not the best. I'm just going to keep apologising about that. Let me know what game makes you feel like the way I do about Skyrim. You know, could be anything. I want to know. I'm interested in that. And thank you again for listening to me talk shite into a microphone. I really appreciate it.